Today in the episode, Special. Nomads take a look at your motorcycles. Voice of the Wasteland, where we read your messages and choose the craft of the episode. And we begin with Workshop. Death from the other side of the map. The best, the deadliest, the most sought-after weapon of the Wastes. Obviously, there's no clear answer to what that is, with every survivor having their preferences, but in this discussion it's really hard to ignore the looming presence of the Scorpion Pulse Accelerator. One of the oldest relic weapons of the Valley is still a force to be reckoned with, and there's still no weapon quite like it. You could say that crossbows operate in a similar fashion, and that's true. But the Scorpion isn't just about its superior accuracy. It is also a weapon that can reliably pierce a couple meters of armor. Any armor. Just like that. To have this kind of capability is huge. So it's only natural that the gun was tweaked several times, with engineers of the Wastes coming up with new ways to protect their rides from railgun fire time and time again. At one point, there was even a myth that a car covered with grills is safe from the wrath of the Scorpion. It's like saying that Odegon is just an actress. No one is safe. And that's without even mentioning the fact that you can freely rotate the gun, and that it has a decent rotation speed. It's a full package. Unfortunately, in the Wastes, nothing comes without a catch, except for maybe a stray bullet or two. Let's talk about difficulties that you're bound to encounter on your journey to a pair of Scorpions. The first and probably the most painful aspect is the weapon's high price. Scorpions are very expensive. You can buy a fully decked out garage filled with robots and whatnot for the price of a single relic gun. It's a lot. The second thing is that Scorpions require a particular type of car. Wait, the gun is good. Couldn't you just slap it on any clunker? No. The Scorpion's fairly demanding. You better have a reload booster, a scope. Your platform should be mobile enough to allow you to dodge any projectiles coming your way, especially if there are other snipers out there. And then there's also ammo and additional equipment. It's a handful. But let's say you have everything at the ready. It's time to have fun and shoot duckies' hats off from the other side of the map, right? Right. And ducks definitely deserve that. Just a few last pieces of advice. Remember, you are your greatest enemy. Making a bad call when choosing a position or picking a target might cost you your life. Always try to find a spot where you have a good view while not being exposed yourself. Learn the maps and use terrain to your advantage. When there's nothing else, a hill or a broken wall might save you from missiles or a lancer. You know how it is in the Wastes. And obviously, always check your surroundings. You can't let anyone sneak up on you. The sooner you see the enemy, the more chances you have to send them on a one-way trip to the trash pile. Good hunting, survivor. And now, a short commercial break.
Welcome to Life Outside of the Scope, a non-profit that seeks to reintegrate snipers into society. Learn how to see with just your eyes today. Topic for our next meeting is how to keep your finger off the trigger.
We're in an old military warehouse. Neon lights, the smell of gasoline, and dozens, if not hundreds of motorcycles built by the best engineers of the Valley. How can you not be enthralled by it? Even enigmatic nomads couldn't resist joining in on the fun. Winds of the Wastes are ever calling them, urging them to keep moving. New, unexplored locations beckon these drifters with a promise of unsolved mysteries, and a motorcycle is a perfect vehicle for a quick expedition or two. It's hardly surprising then that some nomads decided to find their new rides here. Let's remove the makeshift cover sheets and finally take a look at what we have here. When it comes to vehicles, what's the most important thing for a nomad? Reliability. And here's a reliable one, made by an engineer called Rock Salt. It has a lovely name, Motobella, but don't let it fool you. This is a vehicle that can take a lot of punishment. Take a look. Armor? Check. Tacklers for some pre-fire? Check. Maces to give the lunatics their own medicine? Ah, yeah, you got 'em. This vehicle even has a radar on board. On a special Nomad scale, this bike is easily 8 air intakes out of 10. But what if you have lots of wheels, but still want to build a motorcycle? Here's how a survivor called Catadrel answered that question. A long body, an interesting choice of a primary movement part. This design strongly suggests that a mad scientist type was involved in making this, and the choice of weapons only supports this claim. We have to give credit where it's due, though. The vehicle is perfectly autonomous, and its bizarre looks will bewilder both allies and enemies. 6 air intakes out of 10. Looking for a sleek profile and parking convenience? Well, look no further than the glorious bike made by Hext. It's a small target, and the bike has some armor on top of that, making it a perfect vehicle for scouting missions in the far reaches of the wastes. It's a good feeling when you're not afraid of riding through a bullet storm. Living here, this is the kind of weather you come to expect. 7 air intakes out of 10. Maybe you, just like Nomads, feel every gust of wind in your bones and dream of escaping gravity, if only for a brief moment. Then here's the Aggressor. 4 boosters, a trike layout. This motor beast is for survivors that value freedom of movement above everything else. An excellent vehicle that I am more than happy to buy. Luckily, I have some precious materials to spare. What? What do you mean it's not for sale? Can we talk about it? Over there, in that dark corner, yes? Well, it looks like everyone is happy with their new rides. Wish Nomads all the luck in their travels. And we're already waiting for the next batch of your amazing cars. This time, let's make armored personnel carriers. More cool APCs for the god of APCs. And yeah, it's strictly for our use. Not a single APC will be later used by the Steppenwolves to promote their tactics or reinforce their convoys or anything like that. We promise. Survivor's honor. The first question comes from Raymond Martinez IV. Can you add a map with nomad wandering fortresses wandering around? Hi, Raymond. That's certainly not an easy thing to implement, but we can't get the picture out of our heads. A map with a moving nomad fortress? That'd be epic. But given the technical constraints that we work with, that's probably not very realistic. We hope you like our latest map, though. We put a lot of care into it. Then there's this message from Halo Wolf 112.
Hey Garage Show, I had a couple of ideas for some new cabins, or at least their perks. Is it possible we could get a legendary cabin that has a passive radar effect that, when activated, becomes a radar detector effect? And maybe an epic cabin with a perk that boosts rotation speed of weapons?
Okay, let's see. A cabin with a radar perk sounds interesting, but we're considering changes to the way that regular radars work, and this perk won't really work with them. As for the cab with a buff to the rotation speed of your weapons, added to our list of suggestions, thank you. Classified Generation 1 writes,
We need more faction vehicle updates using different cabs and parts instead of the same cabs we use.
Hi, Survivor. We're obviously not going to stop making new exciting cabins, so keep your eyes peeled. And then there's this uplifting message from Janitos. An endless army of Lloyd's lackeys won't keep me from all these spicy new parts. Keep up the great work. May the true firing order be with you and your spark always strong. Thanks, Survivor. Really appreciate your kind words. May the wastes be kind to you as well, and beware of ducks. And here's the segment of the show where we pick one craft from the exhibition. A vehicle that the team really enjoyed. Or not a vehicle. In fact, it's been some time since we had one of your ranges featured here, and that's no good because there are lots of amazing choices out there. For example, take a look at the Leap of Faith, made by Howlin' Wolf. It's not a range or a racetrack, it's more of a cool driving puzzle. It's a test of your navigational ability and also your driving skills, with an added challenge of constantly tumbling through the air. We really dig it. What's your best time, by the way? That's it for today. Tell us what you think in the comments below, ask us questions, and after we get back from our new motorbike expedition, we'll return with some crazy new content in a couple of weeks. If you like what we're doing, consider subscribing, leave a like, and good luck.